Hey, amazing people. This is Gav. I still have some energy. This is Bikram. You're watching the sexiest news of the week. We're recording this on Thursday. It's going to release on Saturday, I believe, Bikram. So if some news has gone stale, because yesterday Manchester United lost to Villarreal, who have 1/10 their budget, 100 this bench strength, and we still lost to them because we have become now serial losers. And this is not water. This is my tears, and this is just part of it because I have a bucket full out there, and I've been crying since yesterday. So Bikram can show us and rub salt to my wounds by showing this whatever fucking yellow green color shit is, and they have won this thing. So yeah, hopefully one of the players, Pau Torres from their team, is coming to our team, so our team will come to get slightly better than Villarreal, who were 7th in the Spanish league, and none of the Spanish teams actually ever qualified for the final in Champions League. But anyway, that's enough of my rant. Let's talk about something fun and interesting. Let's talk about Luis Suarez. So Luis Suarez picture has been going around, it's gone viral after he scored the La Liga winning goal for Atletico Madrid, and he was FaceTiming his family, he was crying his heart out. So finally we have the picture. This is Luis Suarez. This is not an Instagram moment, it is very real because he was kicked out of Barcelona. Okay, let me tell you the backstory. He was kicked out of Barcelona. Please excuse Bikram, he's just sneezing. He's probably died before the podcast ends, but let's not have any condolences because yeah, who cares. Now this is Luis Suarez. He was kicked out of Barcelona after he was a Liverpool legend and Barcelona legend. Then Ronald Koeman comes in. He said that's Barcelona coach right now, who might not be the Barcelona coach next year. So he said, okay Louis, you have to go, and then he disconnected the phone call. So it was a 3.5-second phone call, and Louis like, what the fuck? And then Atletico Madrid said, don't worry buddy, you come here, and I know they call him Fatty at Barcelona, and they said, don't worry Fatty, you come here, you play with us. And then he was on fire, and eventually he won Atletico Madrid the La Liga title over Real Madrid and Barcelona after I think 7-8 years. So this has been amazing. As the news clipping shows, a man of character, Luis Suarez finds vindication and victory. He definitely did. He's an amazing guy. I have always loved Luis Suarez, even after he bites people, even if he bites me, all my family, my kids, non-existent kids, my non-existent ex-wives, I will be very happy about that. So please go ahead, Louis, continue. He's going to play next season again for Atletico Madrid. Alright, that's apart from the breaking news, which will probably not be breaking news by the time you hear it, but it's okay. Your wounds might have been healed by then if you're a Manchester United fan, and if you love Suarez. If you don't love Suarez, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Alright, now the biggest breaking news, our first big news is Virat Kohli becomes an actor. Now, Virat Kohli makes a shocking career jump, and he will play the professor in the 4th season of this great Spanish crime thriller called Money Heist. Now, the rumor mill says that Virat Kohli has been learning Spanish since the lockdown started in March 2020. And even bigger rumor mill is that he auditioned for the role a few months ago at the end of the last year while pretending to be on paternity leave with his wife, but it only came true because the actor by the way, on the right is Virat Kohli, just in case you can't recognize him. That's how what he's been trying to do. So he wants to like completely become like this guy. So it only came true because after the original professor Alvaro Antonio Garcia Perez decided to quit acting altogether and become a cricketer and go on a lifelong mission to make Spain a great cricketing nation. And this opened the door for Virat Kohli, who's like, you know what, I have everything, let me just become an actor. My wife is an actor, I want to prove I'm a better actor than her. Alright, that's a great idea because obviously now she has kid to take care of, so he can actually take over and say, I'm the best at everything. Now Virat Kohli, Bikram, looks like, I don't know, you have your own question because you didn't tell me, so I have like my question for you. It looks like Virat Kohli will become a part-time franchise cricketer like great AB de Villiers and become a full-time superstar. So is it time for you also to leave everything and actually, you know, go after your dreams which you have never told anybody, to become a big star in Hollywood and become like the next Charlie Sheen or some shit like that?
I don't want to go to Hollywood. I just want to meet Bhai. Ever since I watched Radhe, I just want to meet him and be like him. So I don't really care about Hollywood. My only dream is to meet Bhai and become like him.
Yeah, well, considering your situation right now, if you send your pictures and this video and how struggling you are with your health, he might just meet you and you can just say like, I'm on chemotherapy or something, remove your hair, put some fake chemotherapy hair, and he say like, yo, I'll do it. Or maybe, you know, say like, I'm like Pa, like that movie, Amitabh Bachchan, the father and all. That would work out fine. Alright, let's move on to the next one. We have this Deepika gets trolled. No, this is not the Deepika of Ranbir. This is a different Deepika. Can we have a couple of pictures? So actress, she's also an actress, I think in TV, I've never seen her, was trolled after she recently put up pictures posing right next to uprooted trees and she was dancing around them. And it happened right after the cyclone Tauktae, that's how it's pronounced, in Mumbai. Now, a virtue signaling self-righteous netizen wrote on Instagram or wherever the fuck it is that people are dying to the cyclone and you're enjoying this. What a shame, Deepika. So he obviously really wanted to, like, you know, shame her for dancing. And then, but the funniest thing what happened was Deepika responded. She agreed that she was wrong, but I just liked what she said. I'll read out exactly so I don't actually misquote her. She said, I live in a flat which is on the ground floor. I don't know, that's too much information. This was a tree that we had planted many years ago outside our house. My goodness, I don't know how long she's been living there, which unfortunately fell during the cyclone. Fair enough. And the tree fell on our car. Okay, if the tree falls in your car, so you try to save the car, right? So my husband Rohit, she is mentioning who this person is, and I stepped out in the rain to move it from the car. During that time, while moving that fucking tree, my husband realized that, oh, no, this is a very good time to take pictures and for you to start dancing in the middle of it. And that's why what we did, and we did it spontaneously because, you know, the car was crashed. I mean, what can we do? So we just danced. This is very normal behavior for anybody in 2021, right? My husband is a good photographer, so we clicked a few pictures and I started dancing because I'm also a good dancer. Now, this is just extremely bizarre. Like, this is just extremely bizarre because, like, see, what is happening is that this is something which I've done, like, you know, in past, as you know very well, and I'm going to accept it on live television, that I remember there was a man on whom a tree had fallen, and it was like a barren area, and I was the only person on the other side of the road. He was like shrieking in pain. I was like, okay, fine, I'll take my headphones off, I'll help this guy, but like, whatever. So I went there, and then I was like, oh, before that, why don't you just take a few pictures of me? Then I gave him my phone, I made him take 116 pictures, I made him make 17 videos of me, and then I said, I'll help you after you do all this. He did everything as I told him, but then once he had taken all those videos and pictures, I got so excited, I just left. I don't know what happened to that man. I don't know if he's still stuck under that goddamn tree, because this is the parallel I can draw with what Deepika is saying. If we go outside, a tree has fallen on our car, but the moment instead of moving it, I realize I can dance. My husband is a good photographer, and let's take some pictures for Instagram. Fuck the car. Yeah. That is just amazing. So I have no virtue signaling for her. Please go ahead and do it. But I just have to really admire her EQ and her husband's EQ and the whole idea that she sat down and properly wrote this for everybody to just have so much fun. Now, I know you also have a history of, you know, every time a tree falls on anybody's car, because that's why you deliberately haven't bought a car, so it doesn't fall on your car, right? And then whenever it falls on somebody else's car, you get your wife outside, you start taking pictures against their car, saying like, oh, this is just, this is what you do. So do you judge her for doing what she did, or should we endorse this behavior? And should you say, like, you know, maybe she would be, you know, shortlisted for Bharat Ratna or something like that, Bharat Photography, I don't know, whatever. This is like quirky thing that she done. I mean, she lives in a flat. She must be bored.
On the ground floor. So yeah, I think it's a very expected behavior. I mean, this is the Instagram generation, right? Where you need to find content everywhere. So you need to find positivity in negativity. So I really admire her, IQ, that she, did this out of her misery. I don't know what was she trying to convey, but whatever it was beautiful, and she got so much publicity out of it. So I don't think it's a bad thing for her. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the guy who tweeted against her was also somebody known to her. It's like, can you tweet something bad against her, then I'll say something that will work out very well for us.
Yeah.
Alright, so I hope she continues doing this. Next time, hopefully it falls on somebody's child and then she does exactly the same thing. That will be even more funny. That will be amazing. Alright, let's move on to the third news. This is a combination of three different news. Rich people like Vijay Mallya, Russell Peters, and actress Samiksha, who has a lot of S's in that name, Bhatnagar. And by the way, her name is Bhatnagar. I think you've cleaned it up. That's how she has removed the H, and it's called Bhatnagar, because apparently that's what she said. That's how she's going to get roles. And that's pretty much how everybody in Tinseltown thinks that they're changing their names. That's how they'll end up getting roles. They're saying we are running out of money. Okay, let me tell you this thing. Vijay Mallya. Let me start with Samiksha. She has more than 200,000 followers on Instagram, and she puts stupid videos every single day. And I checked it out the other day just to make sure that how poor she is. She doesn't look poor. Her watch seems to be more than 100,000 rupees. And she says her biggest problem is that right now it's not that she doesn't have money. She's not able to pay EMIs. Now, why the fuck do you have EMIs in the first place? And if you do, unless you know better, Samiksha, you can please tell us. But right now, I think your EMI is about your luxury car and your luxury flat in Bandra. Okay, which you should not be having in the first place. Okay, there are people who are dying who really don't have money and the other thing is that your problem is, as she wrote correctly, that it's not like she doesn't have work. She said right now situation has become this way that I can't choose the best roles for me. I have to take what roles they're offering me. This is her biggest problem. Okay, you and I know people who have not got work in seven years. You know, I lived with somebody who did not get work in 95 since 1997. Okay, he wasn't even born there. He still hasn't been getting work. You know all these things and still not complaining and doing all this kind of shit on national newspaper. And I think national newspaper also should be a little bit ashamed. But then Vijay Mallya is also there. Vijay Mallya said, listen, I need money because I need to pay my lawyers. He wants like crores of rupees to pay his lawyers. I really want to be Vijay Mallya's lawyer right now because he said he's paying crores to his lawyers in India, not even in England, where he lives right now. Or they say he's hiding. He moves around everywhere. He's in every coffee shop. So I don't know how is he hiding. Then his monthly expenses are 23 lakhs per month, which is 2.76 lakhs per annum. Bikram, you and I, my life will never spend this money or an entire family for our entire lives. But this guy wants this one. He's like, okay, I'm poor. Can you give me some money? And because he wants to sell his mansion, as he cleared, in some amazing place in France. He's like, can we just sell this thing so I can get the money? Like, I think he already sold. He's like, can you just clear the money so I can get it? I just love these people's life. Then even better, it was Russell Peters who was found crying or cribbing on Joe Rogan's show saying, oh, he doesn't have much money, blah, blah, blah. And you go on Google and Google says that his net worth is $75 million. Now, if your net worth is $75 million, why the fuck are you crying that you have no money? I just don't get it because my net worth is 75 rupees and I'm still not crying. Okay. It is just deplorable, and you get to go on Joe Rogan shows and then you're crying. If you already go to Joe Rogan show, that means you're already good, right? And everybody knows that this guy is a very famous comedian. So even if he doesn't do anything, his royalties will keep coming. He has enough material. He's been there since he himself agrees that he's been doing comedy for 33 fucking years. This guy is 51 years old and he's been there forever. He has no problems. He's done international shows. So I don't know what the fuck is he talking about. I don't think anybody can see that. Okay, now probably it says $75 million for Russell Peters' net worth and he's 5'10", which is irrelevant information, but that's what people say. Deepika said she lives on the ground floor. That is very important information for what she did. So we will also give him unimportant information because right now, Bikram, I have this amazing plan and I'm going to go. I have this suit which is a very cheap suit, but it will look better because I'll iron the fuck out of people. Like iron क्या होता है? बेटा press करके जाएंगे उसको हम. So I'll iron it. I'll go to some, I don't know, Bank of Baroda, Bank of Punjab, whatever the fuck there is there, and I'll ask them for, can you just give me, see my business plan, can you please give me like just 100,000 crores, just 1,000 crores is also fine with me because my airlines is completely original. Its name is, wait for it, it's my dream project. It's called Queen Fisher Luxury Airlines, the queen of greatest times, the good times of ever. And if I get even 500 crores, I think after that we'll party.
Yeah, and I think you'll get it since now everyone is woke. So like, oh, this sounds very feministic. So
yeah, because I'm brown and I'm black on the hair, so like I have all the race cards working for me, and I'm poor also. I'll tell them I'm gay, or maybe I'm tell them I'm transsexual. Transsexual, is that a right word, or is that even like officially can we say that anymore? But okay, fine. Anyway, I've said it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the cancel culture will find you eventually, but till then we have to keep speaking our mind. Now, I don't know what you have anything to say about these amazing people, because otherwise I'll move on to this another person who is actually amazing.
Yeah, I think these poor people are really struggling, unlike all of us, or unlike people who are on daily wages. They are getting so much benefits from the government is paying for everything, but government should also look into these poor people's lives also and give some charity to them also. They really deserve it. Yeah,
they deserve the UPI, the universal basic income, but obviously that will not work for them because their monthly expenses are like 23 lakh rupees. So they will not be happy. They'll need some other charity from there. Alright, this new young boy, if you can just put his picture up, his name is Noah Lawrence. He lives in England. He is only 3 years old. He has a passion for sanitation, and he's just been given an honorary job as a bin man. And Noah Lawrence, he has Down syndrome, has one of the rubbish trucks named after him as well now, because they loved him so much, because he used to wave whenever the rubbish people came in to pick up the rubbish. He would always wave at them from the windows, and he'd be very nice, so they'll just hug and kiss him. So they got along very, very well. I don't think, Bikram, this will work in India. Like, imagine your daughter given, like, or anybody's daughter given, particularly Sharma, Pandit, all these people, like, saying, your daughter is now the honorary bin man. You're like, bin girl? My daughter is fucking bin girl? That's not. Don't worry about the other news. It says, like, go with your family. It's the best medicine. Trust me, you don't want to be with your family. It doesn't work out. Those thank you cards don't help anybody. But that guy seems very real in the middle. Adorable sanitation worker. So, I don't know, like, I don't know how this will work, that you'll call somebody a bin girl, a daughter who's 3 years old, and a bin truck is named after you. It's like the Sulabh Sochale, right? Once that happened, after that, nobody could keep their son's name Sulabh, because then it becomes just Sochale. So now, same way, if your name is on the bin trucks, you'll be like, I don't think that will, because very, very class conscious. For sanitation is one thing. Cleanliness is one thing, but cleaning rubbish of other people from the roads, that's considered derogatory. That's why we don't appreciate the people who are actually still doing that, particularly during the last year or so, when it's been, we've been COVID stricken, and these are the people who are cleaning the streets, keeping everybody clean, and all the fucking virtue signaling people, on punks who are sitting in their home, particularly women who say, I don't come out of the house because I don't want to make anybody else sick. Who the fuck is coming to get you food to your house all the time? Who just risking their lives just to keep you alive? Why don't you fucking grow your own potatoes in the background, and your sourdough fucking bread and the bakery that you do all there? Because everybody who's coming from outside to give you food and give you your parcels, they're risking their lives. So don't give me the shit that you're sitting inside and saving lives. You're not. Only way you can save life is by, okay, I should not say this on a live video. So by doing something very risky to yourself. Let me say that. Alright, that was a rant uncalled for. And let's move on from there to BCCI, because everybody loves BCCI because they're super, super rich, and now they refuse to pay World T20 prize money to women. And by the way, this T20 did not happen this year. Did not happen last year. It happened end of 2019, even before the coronavirus hit. Now, it's been more than 14 months, they say, and they haven't paid a prize money, which is only $500,000, which is roughly 3.65 crores, 64 crores. Just to give you in context, BCCI is worth 15,000 crores, so they can absolutely spare 3.6, because eventually every person in the team will end up getting around 20 lakhs after tax. Now, a statement from BCCI says this: the problem stems from the tax dispute BCCI has been having with ICC. They say if we pay the players currently, they will have to suffer double taxation from there and here, because I think it was played in Australia. Our objective is to win the tax matter and pay the players in total. Currently, ICC deducting TDS, and players would have to take a hit of $50,000 to $60,000. I'm not sure that's a big problem anyway from the total, and if this is 56 is not for every individual, it's divided into everybody, literally. And also, why don't you just pay them for fuck's sake, and then you can deal with it later? It's a very small amount of money. If our country can pay for a tax of more than 2 crores for Sachin Tendulkar 20 years ago, you can pay, like, tax of 45 lakhs on your own and pay this women, right? I'm the first person who always says, like, equal pay is bullshit for fucking women cricketers, because they're not generating equal revenue. It doesn't make sense. You pay according to revenue generated. This is the prize money which is officially granted to them. Give them their fucking money. They need that money. They're not rich at all. So whatever they deserve, they need to get. So there's 20 odd lakhs. They need to create some infrastructure for themselves to buy whatever appliances they need to buy, whatever they need to do. They need to pay them, because this is fair. I don't know why BCCI is not paying them. It's been 14 fucking months, man. It's ridiculous, right? Even Sri Lankan fucking board pays people. Even Pakistani board people play as well. I mean, our board is like the most richest board ever in the history of cricket, and will ever be in the history of cricket. And eventually BCCI will rule the world with FIFA, but that will happen in 2.5 years, not now.
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, the amount of money BCCI has, and amount of money it gets from all the tournaments are happening. This is just pocket change, not even pocket change. In fact, they can just give it out of their pockets, and I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I know this has been going on from a long time, and now people are saying that women should be paid more, but in this case they're not even getting paid. So it's really surprising, or maybe not.
It's been terrible, but hopefully they get paid after they listen to this vitriolic podcast. They're like, come on, pay BCCI, pay BCCI, pay BCCI. And this is how we actually get anybody to pay, by keep saying the same thing, pay, annoy the fuck out of them. And then you go close to the camera. That also works. That trick works. Like and you show them like parts that they should not be seeing. All right, my favorite news is coming. This is the final news of the day, and this is my favorite part. Now we have a bunch of people, centenarians. Centenarians are people who have lived more than 100 years, and we're going to talk about their lifestyle, not particular lifestyle, but how they survived such a long time and they're still feeling good and want to live more. They're amazing people. Do we have pictures of this lady? Okay, one each, right? So on the left, I think, can we zoom this thing somehow? So this on the left, her name is Kane Tanaka. She's definitely Japanese. She's 118 years old. She's the oldest human. She's a woman, oldest human alive ever. I'm assuming she's home. Her lady, because her name is Kane, but I'm pretty sure it's Kane because it's not Kane Williamson, right? So she's the oldest woman, because after a certain age it's very difficult to figure out if you're a man or a woman, because you know your tits sag anyway, so you just can't figure out who the hell is who. But I think it's a woman. Generally women live longer, and her secret, she says, is chocolates and math. It's mathematics, not meth. Don't do crystal meth. Don't say that we said it. It's not crystal meth. And then there's Lucille, who's like, if you scroll, like you need to go down a little bit. Yeah, Lucille she drinks a lot of red. No, move this to the right. It's a red wine one. So it's going to go zigzag like this. So this Lucille, her name is Lucille Randon. She's 117 years old, and her message is to drink red wine. Don't drink a bottle every single day. Drink a little red wine, and prayer. She loves prayer. I don't really do prayer, but you know, if I can live longer like her and healthy, I will do some prayer, even if it's bogus completely. All right, Thelma says her rule is no worries. This is like very Australian. I don't know if she's from Australia, but this is so Australian. Like, no worries, mate, don't worry. She's in USA. Okay, she's from United States, and she thinks that no worries, don't worry about anything in life, and just chill. The next one is apple cider vinegar, because that sounds very American, or at least very don't yet, like, move up. Yeah. So but forget about that. But I like the one which this person who says Louis Senior, seems to be all women anyway, because all the men die because of them and then they'll survive. Say, don't get married. Good example. And this person was born in like fucking very early 20th century, and she's telling you not to get married, so you should listen to her. Vikram, you can just, after, you can show it to your wife. She's like, you know, what do we do now? So, you know, let's fix something. Then now we can move to the in the middle. These are the people who are centenarians, who are more than 100 years old, and they have already beaten COVID. My grandma also beat COVID the other day, and she is 86 unofficially, because nobody knows when she was born, but that's our guesstimation. She's definitely around that age. So her name is Lucy de Klerk, and she eats gin-soaked raisins every single day. This sounds very happening, and she's like wearing goggles or something while she's sitting there, and she's chilling. And the other person is 101 years old, and now she's already turned 102. Her name is Angelina Friedman. She's holding that placard which says, I'm 101 and I beat COVID, and she's amazing. She drinks her tea with whiskey. So these people are like, and she hasn't, no sorry, this one has iron will to live, and Rose Healy drinks a cup of tea with whiskey. So these people are really, really inspirational for me. And then on the extreme right, there are regions which are like very popular for people with the longest life. One is top one is Okinawa, Japan, not surprised at all. Sardinia, Italy, little bit surprised. Ikaria, Greece, because they're probably still into philosophy. And I'm not going to read out all this because I forgot to pick my newspapers and I can't read it, but you can read it. We can just put it in the, if you're really curious, we can actually give you the link of Times of India where you found this article. Bikram, this is very, very interesting. How long do you want to live? I mean, and which formula of this longevity from all these legends you will follow, because all of them seem to be women anyway, and you're a man, you might have to go through what the Jenner lady did, right? She was an Olympic champion and she became transgender. She changed her sex. Once we make enough money, we will change our sex, because that's the norm now. If you have enough money, you got to do it, and you got to list yourself for the Mars trip, either with Elon Musk or the other guy. What's the other guy's name? He's very famous for this thing. He's English, I think. I'll get to that.
Virgin guy, right? Virgin guy.
He's not Virgin.
Yeah,
his airline's called Virgin. Richard Branson, right? Yeah, that's guy. So how long do you want to live in? Which formula do you want to follow if you have your own formula to live longer?
Yeah, I think I already follow the formula of not taking any tension, not taking, not getting offended by things every 2 seconds. So I think that has been my formula from long time, and that will be my formula. I don't know how long I'll live, but I just want to live a good life, not a long life. Because sometimes you have to live off someone, and they are miserable, you are miserable. So I don't want to go into that state. But yeah, that's
but give me a number. And what is the formula? Like this formula you said, but what about drinking and all? Like, this is a good formula. People need to just not wake up every single day and look for reasons to be upset.
Yeah. So
just kill
I
people
would.
you're upset with. Just kill them.
Yeah. So I would say anything past 80 is good enough for me. I don't really want to be 100 or anything. So between 80 or 90 would be a good number. Unless I become bedridden or something, then I don't want to live that long as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with 90 plus because I'm really inspired by Clint Eastwood. And he's making movies and he's like 92 years old. So I want to do something like that. I'll probably not be making movies because nobody will trust me for it. But yeah, I will probably still want to live longer as long as I'm healthy because I'm into running and I run every single fucking day. So if I keep running, I'll be like that Sardarji guy who also lives in England, I think somewhere. He's actually Desi guy. His pictures don't come anymore. Maybe he's like, I don't know, he stopped running. But there was some Sardar guy who used to run all the time. He used to do all the marathons and his pictures were everywhere. And he was almost 100. And I think one time he just decided to stop running or something. Yeah, eventually. But something I can totally imagine myself to be just constantly running everywhere and live longer. But I hope to make podcasts with you when you're 85, I'm 90. And we are like, the sexiest news of the week is I finally saw my wife's, I realized she still has breasts. It is on the ground. So that will be the sexiest news for today. And,
so we'll rename it to Old Bastard.
Yeah, Old Bastards. And it is, we are all enjoying COVID 2075. It has been very good. It is the 7th pandemic in the last 2 years. It has been amazing. But we are looking forward to Heineken 77. Because Heineken is better than COVID. All these pandemics are named after beers and whiskeys. Corona, yeah. Whiskeys and, everybody's like asking for like, can you name it after us? Can you name it after us? We'll survive it. So I think it'll become just part of life. So I think, yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, this was my favorite news. I'll put the link in there. You can check it out. It is very interesting how these people live so long. I don't think the idea is to be very less funny here. The idea is to be not live so long. But my idea is that how to live a life that is, not miserable, that you're not uncomfortable. Whatever the time you want to live, you live the best of it. You're just able to do what you want to do. If you can't do it, I think it's time to, it's time to go. But otherwise, you should be able to live as long as possible and as long as you're able to do what you want to do. Because luckily, I'm into writing, into podcasting. You can still do that. As a cricketer, you have to let go after a certain time, right? Yeah. But there are a lot of things that you can still do. As a writer, you can keep writing in your deathbed also. So that is good. And if you keep healthy, everything is just always much better. And please, as Bikram said, you don't have to worry about everything what people say and just take it with a pinch of salt and just laugh. And if you really want to, if you think we are offensive, you should go watch Tim Dillon. And Tim Dillon, you better fucking give me some credit for this thing later on once we become a little bit more popular and call me for your fucking show as well. And Joe Rogan also same thing. So he is fucking offensive. He says all kind of wicked shit, man. He kind of says all kind of wicked shit. He tries to always try to kill your kids and saying all kind of wicked shit. So yeah, on that note, have a good weekend, enjoy. And IPL is going to be back soon. Euro is going to be back soon. A lot of new things going to happen in the month of June. Lockdown will finish here on 31st and things will start opening gradually. And I think that's the same thing will happen in Bangalore as well. I think you still have a lockdown, I believe.
Till 7th, yeah.
Till 7th. Is it a full lockdown?
Yeah. I mean, some things have been relaxed. I see on Amazon that we can buy everything now, because before that all the non-essential stuff was not deliverable. So now that has opened up.
Yeah, so I bought my COVID hair on Amazon, so I'm pretty sure it's available.
Yeah.
Alright, good luck with that. We'll not take on you any more of your time. Take care, have a good week and enjoy. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.